Hey guys, this is Mike here. I just wanted to throw a quick video out for you on cob lighting and how to wire this up. I originally ordered some cob lighting from AliExpress, and this is the AliExpress cob lighting. I mean, it seems to be pretty good quality. It's really thick though. You could see how thick that silicone is right there, and the 4-pin connector that I had, I couldn't get it over the outer jacket of this, so I had to cut back about 1/4 of an inch on here with an X-Acto knife on each side of the LED cob, and then cut it across to expose those pins right there that you see. But at that point, it was still too thick to get into the 4-pin connector that I had. So I had to peel back the bottom of this and expose the track. I guess there's a track that this goes on. Expose the track. It's a really thin piece to slide into the 4-pin connector. But the issue I was coming across was that these pins are so close together inside this silicone jacket that when I push down on the 4-pin terminator with a 4-pin connector, I think it was actually jumping 2 of those wires together, because this is the wiring that I purchased. I bought a 100-foot roll of this on Amazon, and this is 20 gauge wire, and it has this outer jacket on it, which is pretty nice. So I peeled the jacket off. I skinned about a little bit of the wiring off, but you didn't have to do that. I kind of figured that out afterwards. You just kind of cut the wire here to length and then leave it as is, and then slide it into the 4-pin connector. So once I figured that out, I did that, and this is what it looks like with the 4-pin connector and the wiring inside. So there's like little shark teeth in here that when you crimp it down, it bites into the connections, and it also pierces the outer jacket of the wire itself and makes contact with the wire inside. And the issue I was having with this AliExpress was that it was making a connection with these pins so close together that the terminator, this 4-pin connector, started smoking and melted the plastic between these 2 points. So I disconnected the power and started over. I threw that AliExpress LED cob lighting to the side, and then I ordered this cob lighting off of Amazon. And this worked out great because this outer jacket here is really thin, and it was easy to peel off. I just kind of cut the side with a knife on the sides here, and then just peeled it back and then cut it across with a scissor. And then the bottom was super easy to peel that back as well, to expose these connection points. And it slid right in. I closed it down and used a pair of pliers to crimp it. And then I slid this wire in here. There's little like conduit ports, holes there for the wire to slide right into. And slid those in and crimped that down. And then I connected it to this LifePo 4 battery. It's a 12.8 volt, 12 amp hour. I bought this as a test battery, so I'm gonna get a higher amp hour battery for these lights, because these lights will only last about like 1.5 hours to 2 hours at most, which I'm gonna have 6 of these, and 5 of them are gonna be about 5 feet long, and then this one here is about 3 feet. So that's what I have. I have 6 of these that are going to be going into one junction box, and there's a 4 terminator connection in the junction box. So I can wire these from my awning support brackets after the lights are all hung up, and then get this wire. I cut these about 12 foot long each so that I had enough. And once I get everything to the end of the awning where the pivot point is on the support arms, then I can determine exactly how long I have to cut these to go into the junction box. Now for the junction box, I'm going to peel these back. this outer jacket off a little bit more, and then take all 4 of these wires and separate them on all 6 lights. So there's going to be 6 white tied together, there's going to be 6 black tied together, 6 yellow tied together, and 6 red tied together that go into the junction box. You twist them all together, and then there's a 4-pin terminator in there. So all these wires go into their own terminator inside the junction box. And then from the other side of the junction box, I'm going to have this 4-pin Deutsch connector. So the Deutsch connector is going to stay up with the awning when the awning's closed, and these attached to these wires in the junction box. So I could put everything away and it looks good. And then when I'm ready to set up camp, I basically unzip, set up the awning, and then take the other end of the Deutsch 4-pin connector and connect it right in and power it up. Now this is what the Deutsch connector looks like right here, and that is 14 AWG wiring. So the 14 AWG wiring should be sufficient enough to be able to power all of these lights. So these are only 20 gauge wires, and all of them together, the other end needs to be a thicker gauge to handle the power. So this is the Deutsch connector that I ordered, and I'm going to be installing that tomorrow when it's delivered. And then it's going to, from the Deutsch connector, it's going to go down to this controller that I purchased, and there is a color indicator for each of one of the wires. Now I know that these are B, G, R, and the voltage, and these are completely different colors. So you're gonna have to keep that in mind, how you wire these up from the COB strip. All right. I know that I wired this up so that the red is the power leg, or the 12 volt leg, and then all the other colors you just have to keep in mind the way you plug them in on this wire, and do that for all of them. So I take a picture of this, that way it's a good reference point before you put your adhesive jacket on to protect this wire. All right. So then from here, this is just a barrel plug. I was used for testing, but this is going to be changed out to something different. And then this is going to also be 14 gauge wire that's going to run down. The power leg is going to have an inline fuse that's going to be connected near the battery, and the ground just goes to the ground on the battery terminal. And then the remote control that it comes with is right here. So when everything's wired up and there's power going to it, I could just turn it on by clicking this little slash button, or click off, and then I could change the colors to whatever color I like. Now for nighttime, I'd like to use like an amber color or a red to keep the bugs away. But with all the colors combined to make pure white, that uses actually the most juice from the battery. So you got to keep that in mind. But I don't plan on having these on full brightness because they are really, really bright lights. I'm going to dim them down a little bit, and then that'll actually make the battery last longer, but give me adequate light for my camp setup. So I dropped links below for everything that I've used for this build, for this wiring, because nothing comes that I found online. Nothing that I found online actually comes like pre-wired with a segment of COB lighting that you can buy. Everything you have to do yourself. And the lights that came with my awning, they were really short, and there was only 3 of them. So I used those for other applications in the bed of my truck. And I just figured I'd fabricate my own so that I can have multicolors to choose from rather than white, which draws a lot of bugs in, and just make it look better, you know. So again, I'll drop the links below for all the stuff that I've used for this. And I just wanted to show you real quick that the ends of these, where I had to cut them, I just used this adhesive 1/2 inch wire shrink, and slid a small piece on there, and then hit it with the torch. The torch I used is the the Benzomatic held it about 4 or 5 inches away, and it starts to shrink down right away. Just be careful because it does get hot, and you might have to just hold it with a pair of pliers just until the end starts to shrink on, and then you can go ahead and hit it with the torch. But the adhesive inside is actually really good because you can see there's like a glue that melts down and completely seals the wire end off for moisture protection. And then there is a slight like raised area where the lighting is in there. I don't know if you can see that along the edge here on both sides. So once the adhesive started to melt and it was a little cool, I kind of just took the pair of pliers and squished this down on both sides as well. And this thing hardened up real nice. It's definitely protected from the elements, even though it's going to be underneath my awning and protected anyway, but I just wanted to make sure that it was going to be good. And then I'll use little clips to go along the awning support bracket, and then even though there is tape on the side, I'll probably stick this on there first to get it in place, and then I'll go along every foot or so with these clear plastic wire holders to secure this to the awning bracket. All right. Just wanted to throw this out there for you. You guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.